A deadly stabbing spree ended in gunfire inside this Bertucci's restaurant in Taunton. Police say an off-duty deputy sheriff fired one shot, killing the suspect, Arthur DeRosa, before he killed anyone else. DeRosa first rammed his car through the front of this Macys and, armed with a knife, walked inside the mall and started his attack. Officials here believe the death toll could have been worse if not for the off-duty deputy sheriff who shot the suspect, ending the rampage.
It appears that but for the actions of the deputy sheriff, there may very well have been other victims.
Continuing the theme of dead malls here on the channel, we are at the Silver City Galleria in Taunton, Massachusetts. I came here a lot as a kid because it was the only place around that actually had a Ruby Tuesdays. So I'd always go to the Ruby Tuesdays and then walk around the mall, go to like FYE, buy some movies or whatever. But now the place is more or less abandoned. I think there's like 2 or 3 stores left inside the mall. Now before we go inside and go check out this dead mall, if you could do me a big favor, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. If you're new around here and like abandoned stuff and dead malls, make sure to hit the subscribe button. We're doing a lot more of that in the future. In the comments down below, let me know if you have any dead malls in your area that you want me to come visit. If you want to support videos just like this, check out benlawrence.spreadshirt.com in the links down below. You can get yourself a hat just like this one, or join the Club 57 crew over on patreon.com/benlawrence. We got all kinds of cool rewards over there. All right, now without any further ado, let's head inside and check out what's left here at the Silver City Galleria. All right, here we go through the only entrance into the mall. Now this place is huge. It's like over 1 million square feet, and this is the only entrance to the mall. We actually had to drive around a few times just to find a door that was actually unlocked. This mall has a pretty dark history, as you saw in the news clip at the beginning of this video, and we'll cover that in a little bit, but I want to start at the beginning of this mall's life, and it's actually not that old. It opened up in 1992 and was developed by the Pyramid Company, who developed a few other malls in the area like the Berkshire Mall and the Independence Mall, which is now the Kingston Collection. Before Silver City opened, there was a smaller mall in Taunton, simply known as the Taunton Mall. I think later it was called Mill River Place. Shortly after Silver City Galleria opened, Mill River Place closed down because it just couldn't compete with the gigantic Galleria Mall. There were about 90 retail locations and 7 anchor stores in this mall. I think there were about 2 retail stores open when we filmed this video, those being T-Mobile and Spencer's, which we'll take a look at later on. Out of the 7 anchor stores, only 1 was in use, and it was actually split, with the top being Dick's Sporting Goods and the bottom being like a large arcade/bowling alley called Round 1. And I really hope that on like Friday, Saturday nights, this place is jammed, because right now it's about as dead as the actual mall. If I was a kid that lived in this area, I'd be here all the time. They have like cool Japanese arcade games and really cheap snacks like 99-cent ice cream, and I may or may not have had one of the 99-cent ice creams while we were filming this video. I was talking to an older couple here at the mall who actually said before this place was built, it literally used to be in the middle of nowhere. Like it was a forest. And I know exactly what they mean, because on the way here, we just had to go through like a bunch of neighborhoods, and then out of nowhere, this giant mall just showed up. Like it was literally like in the middle of a neighborhood. The original idea for this mall was to put it right next to 2 major highways, and I feel like that's really what helped the mall in the early years. In 2002, the mall was sold to General Growth Properties and the Teachers Retirement System of the state of Illinois. Now, maybe I just don't know what the Teachers Retirement System of the state of Illinois is, but what do retired teachers from Illinois want with a mall in Massachusetts? If you know what that is or what's going on there, leave a comment down below, because maybe I just don't understand what that is, but I don't know, that just doesn't make any sense to me. The mall really started to go downhill in 2008 after the stock market crashed. That's when like a lot of the stores started leaving the mall, and as we're walking around, if you recognize any of the old storefronts, leave the store name and the timestamp in the comments down below. In 2009, the mall was purchased by Midland Loan Services, who sold the mall again in 2013 to a real estate group who had like this grand plan to revitalize the mall and save it from foreclosure. Round 1 and the movie theater were actually a result of this grand plan. Over the next few years, more and more stores started leaving the mall, including Sears, Best Buy, and Macys. Actually, speaking of Macys, let's talk about the insane stabbing rampage that occurred here in 2016. Now, I know usually on the channel we're pretty lighthearted, goofy, like always messing around, having a good time, but we're gonna get serious for a second here. In 2016, a 20-year-old guy named Arthur DeRosa crashed a stolen car through the front entrance of Macys and began terrorizing all the mall shoppers. DeRosa literally punched his way through Macys and then headed to Bertucci's, where he picked up a knife and began stabbing anyone he could get his hands on. The crazy thing is, before he even went to the mall, he actually stabbed 2 other people at a nearby house and then stole their car to crash into Macys. Unfortunately, 2 people ended up dying from their stab wounds, one of them being an 80-year-old woman named Patricia Slavin, who was stabbed inside her home prior to the mall incident. The other victim was a 56-year-old man named George Heath, who died protecting a pregnant waitress at Bertucci's. And after Mr. Heath's death, his wife really fell on hard times, so I'm going to be leaving a link to her GoFundMe account in the description down below if you want to go help her out. Luckily, no one else was hurt because there was an off-duty police officer in the restaurant who actually shot and killed DeRosa before he could attack anyone else. At the beginning of this year, there was another stabbing incident here at the mall. This one was in the parking lot of Round 1, but fortunately, there were no deaths from this other incident. So yeah, definitely some crazy stuff going on at this mall, and the incident that we just talked about is actually one of the reasons many people believe that this mall has just declined so quickly over the past few years. 3 years after the crazy stabbing spree, the mall was foreclosed and then sold for $7.5 million in May of 2019. Again, the new owners announced these grand plans to renovate the mall, and here we are less than a year later. And the mall is borderline abandoned, and actually many people are saying the mall closed on February 29th of 2020, but I don't know if that's actually true. I went to this mall a lot growing up. Like I said at the beginning of this video, we'd frequently go to Ruby Tuesdays, followed by the Disney store and KB Toys, but once all the stores started leaving around 2008, there was really no point to come all the way out to this mall. So it has been years since I set foot in this mall, and walking around now is kind of depressing. It's kind of weird, because I remember when this mall was thriving. There was people everywhere, all the stores were filled, and in the center court, there was a rock climbing wall and like these giant trampolines. Anybody else remember that? I actually remember sometime in the late 90s, early 2000s, the Disney characters actually came to this mall and were taking pictures with shoppers. Now, I don't know why Mickey and the gang were at a random mall in the middle of nowhere of Massachusetts, but it must have been some kind of promotional thing, and if you remember that, leave a comment down below, because I want to know why was like Mickey and all of his friends hanging out at the Silver City Galleria of all places. From what I've heard, the owners and management haven't been involved with the mall for the past few months. No one's heard from them, no one's been able to contact them, which is just kind of strange. But what's really weird is at the beginning of February, all the remaining stores received a notice of termination, which basically means they have to pack up and get out. Like, no warning at all. They just received this notice, which isn't really cool. I mean, imagine that. You're told, like, all right, yep, you got to pack up and get out of the mall. And like, a lot of the stores that were left were just small businesses, so I don't know. I don't think that's cool to like screw over the small businesses like that. So as of right now, the fate of the mall is pretty unclear, but one thing's for sure, Dick's Sporting Goods, Round 1, and I believe the movie theater will all remain open because they have like dedicated entrances, and I imagine they'll just block off the rest of the mall, but all those locations actually have a door that you can get in. And if you live close by to the Silver City Galleria, feel free to keep us posted in the comments down below. Let us all know what's going on with the mall. Like, are they going to demolish it? Is it open? Is it closed? Keep us all posted in the comments down below. Also, make sure to share this video on like Facebook and Twitter to help keep the memory of the Silver City Galleria alive. I'm sure a lot of people want to see this final look at the Silver City Galleria. Now, before we close this video out, I wanted to mention that we will be releasing an extra long cut of this video over on Patreon. So if you want to see a detailed look at this mall, no voiceover, just some music in the background, then consider supporting the channel over on patreon.com/BenLawrence. Join the Club 57 crew. By joining the Patreon crew, you'll gain access to exclusive rewards like extra bonus content and shoutouts at the beginning of every single video. And you'll also be helping us create more videos for your entertainment. So again, if you want to see an extended cut of this video, like extended detailed look at this mall, check out patreon.com/BenLawrence in the description down below. You can join for as little as $1 a month. Now let's take one last look at the Silver City Galleria before we head outside and wrap this video up. Damn, that place legit looked like something out of a movie, out of like a zombie apocalypse. It was really creepy walking around in there because I remember back in the day when that place was like popping, like there was a million people in there. It was like the place to be. So seeing it like that was a little bit depressing, but it was nice to take one last trip around the Silver City Galleria, reminisce on the old times back when the mall actually had stores in it. If you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Also, if you want to see more videos like this, consider hitting the subscribe button and ding the little bell so you get a notification every time I upload a video. And if you want to support the channel, check out benlawrence.spreadshirt.com to get yourself some Ben Lawrence merchandise, or join the Club 57 crew over on patreon.com/benlawrence. There are some great rewards over there, bonus features, exclusive merchandise, a loot box that we'll send out. Go check out patreon.com/benlawrence and the links down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Now get out there and explore the future.